Hey, great to see the phone lines open once again. I've got one burning question I think's on everybody's mind. Do you believe in justice? You see, a man named Brandon Walker came on the show every week and badmouthed another man. He came on Rasslin and used his platform to disparage an entire nation. And ever since this show got the big bad corporate boot, that movement has actually experienced a renaissance. And if you don't know where I'm going by now, let me spell it out for all of the haters out there. That man, Kalisto. That nation, Lucha Nation. See, you look anywhere from AEW to WWE to any podunk Mississippi backyard fed, and you'll find one thing: great lucha libre wrestling. Kalisto himself, he sacrificed himself for the sins of people like Brendan Walker. And you know what? I don't know what that means. I don't know what the phone line means. The phone line's opening means for the return of wrestling. But quite frankly, Brendan Walker, I don't want you back. Let's let the Lucha Revolution prosper and rid this nation of tyrants like BFW. Long live Kalisto. Long live Lucha Nation. And one more thing. Lucha, lucha, lucha.
R-A-S-S-L-I-N, that's wrestling. R-A-S-S-L-I-N, that's wrestling. R-A-S-S-L-I-N, that's wrestling.
Hello and welcome to Rasslin, and you are correct. I am not Brandon Walker. I'm Nicky the Good, and I am your social media guy for all things wrestling. I work behind the scenes, but here's the deal. Brandon's moving to Chicago, okay? He's moving to Chicago. Now, before you go crazy, yes, you're still going to get the interviews. You're still going to get the big fish indie industry. You're going to get AEW. You're going to get WWE. He's going to be doing all that. He's going to be traveling. He's Brandon fucking Walker.
What the fuck?
But in my DMs every single day, I get the same message. When is Rasslin going to come back as a weekly show?
Are you fucking high?
It got me thinking. My favorite show back in 1996 was Livewire. And for you who remember that, if you were born during that time and you got to experience it, Livewire was the first show that put the fans first. It was the first show where you could call in and you could talk to Farouk, you could talk to Vince Russo, Jim Ross, you could talk to Vince McMahon on some occasions, and Sonny, who didn't want to talk to Sonny back in the day at least, right? And you were able to have this experience that you couldn't have. This was on like the beginning of like AOL and all that stuff, and it was awesome. And I kind of want to bring that to you guys. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to bring back the two best segments that we had from Rasslin, right? The ones that involved the fans. We had Ask Rasslin, where we reached out on Twitter. You guys would just sling questions at us, and we would answer. We'd have a good time. And also your voicemails. But not just voicemails. I want video voicemails. I want you guys to send me doing impressions of wrestlers. And we actually had someone who actually sent one in today, and we're going to get to that. But that's what I want. I want to make this show the new Livewire. I don't know what we're going to call it. You guys let me know. But I want to do this weekly. I want to bring it to you guys, and I want to put you guys, in the front and center. I know you don't want to hear from me. You're probably, who's this dumb Mark? Why the hell is he sitting in this chair? So let's kick it off a little bit here. Let's kick it off. We actually have a voicemail, and this voicemail just wasn't any voicemail. It's a video voicemail from this guy, Brian in Brooklyn, and let's just say he's a cool, strange cat. Here we go. Here's Brian from Brooklyn.
Ow! Oh my cosmic dudes and cuties out there. This is Dude Brian from his Love Shack in good old Brooklyn. I got a question for y'all out there in Rasslin. Long time listener, first time video caller. Will Drew McIntyre return anytime soon? I got my dudes and cuties asking me all around, and I hear rumors floating around, Daddy-O, that Drew is leaving the Fed sometime soon, or at least thinking about it. Let me know what you think, because I know you got all the answers, and I got some questions for you. Thanks, peace, love, and keep it obscene, clean, and everything in between. Ow, have mercy.
So Brian's question, and thanks for calling from the Love Shack, Brian. Appreciate it. Everyone loves a good dude. You look like Dude Love, and that looks like a vintage Dude Love shirt there. I think those are going for like $500 on eBay right now, maybe more. So kudos to you for saving that all those years. Clean up your house a little bit, maybe though. I don't know. Close the drawers, do something. I don't know. Listen, pal, get it together behind you. But I love your energy. very groovy. But to answer your question, Drew McIntyre, he's staying with the WWE. I can't see him going anywhere else. Why would he want to go anywhere else? He's already done the indie scene. If he were to go to AEW, I think we've seen some of the fate of the people that have gone over there. And Drew's just, he had success. But his success was during the COVID era. He was at the top of his game when no one was allowed to even be in the arena, and that sucks for him. But I do think if you bring him back and you push him into the main event scene against like a Seth Rollins, you just need him to play the right role, and that's a heel. He's got to be a heel. Okay, I can't take the sword thing anymore. Jamming the sword, I think it's done. You did the thing with Sheamus. That was great. We got to go heel. We need a vicious Drew McIntyre. I think that's where they're going to go, and I think Drew McIntyre stays with WWE. Let's move on to the next voicemail. Here we go. Let's see who we got here.
All right. You know what it is. Got my face painted up.
Oh, no.
Got some white on it, some black streaks on there, too. I'm just hanging out here in the rafters.
Oh.
I'll come down there and I'm going to get you. Don't be afraid. Wearing my trench coat.
Okay.
Got my baseball bat. I'm in the rafters here. I'm going to drop down on you. I'm going to do it. Name's Sting. My name's Sting.
That's who it is.
90s wrestler Sting.
90s wrestler Sting, specifically. That's it. There's no question. So Sting's in the rafters. You sound like you're a Tennessee Sting. I kind of got no words here, but I appreciate you calling into this show, and I appreciate you saying absolutely nothing. So, we're going to move on to the next segment here. And this next segment is the poll segment. And I'm going to issue a poll each week, and we're going to look at the results, because that's what you do with the poll. So that was really exciting. I know. This is very reading stuff. Sorry, guys. I'm trying. So the poll I issued today was, are you excited for the return of CM Punk? And it played out exactly how I thought it would. Nobody has a real concrete answer, and this poll basically tells us nothing, because I don't think anyone knows what they think of CM Punk. So are you excited for CM Punk? 47% of you said yes. Okay, so the majority said yes. But 37% of you said no, and 17% of you said you can't decide, which means that I feel like we're split even here. We really don't know what to think about CM Punk coming back. The guy is a polarizing figure right now. Some people just generally hate him. Some people just want to see him back because it will just add to AEW. So really, it's a coin flipper, and I guess we're not going to know until he debuts at Collision, which Tony let us know. So I think that's where it sits. But this poll is kind of interesting. It kind of shows that, listen, people don't know what to think this time around, where after his 7-year hiatus, everyone was like, CM Punk's coming back? Well, finally, wrestling is saved. And now people are like, listen, I don't even care if he comes back. 37% said no. How times have changed in the world of professional wrestling. Let's go into some of these questions, though. So we're actually going to go into the Ask Rasslin segment here of the show. So Ask Rasslin, Brandon used to do this back in the day, but he's not here, so I'm going to answer your questions. I'm actually going to try and get some Barstool people as well, when more people are around the office throughout the week to answer these questions. We got Robbie Foxy here. We got Jack Mack. We got Brandon's still here. So we got a lot of people that love wrestling, and I'm going to bring them into this. So it ain't going to just be my face every week. Trust me, because I know you guys, you're probably like, I hate this fucking guy. Anyway. So here we go. So the first question, this one's from Instagram, from Thomas the Sloth. So if a heel like MJF could succeed in any era, who is a modern-day babyface that could succeed in any era? So for this one, I think I'm gonna give one in AEW and one in WWE. AEW, I think it's Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy has a character that can fit in any era, anywhere. He's a pure babyface where he can be a comedy act, but he's also credible. Like, for some reason, he makes his character who fights from underneath credible. So I think Orange Cassidy works anywhere. I mean, he doesn't have to say much, but he says a lot with his actions, and I think that goes a long way where it can translate into any era. He understands professional wrestling, and the guy's just hella entertaining. Badass theme song, too. For WWE, it's Cody Rhodes. I know that's a cliche answer and probably not the most interesting one, but he has the lineage, he has the name, he has pretty much everything you could ask for in a white meat babyface, and he can cry on command. I mean, the guy's been crying in the ring, and we love Cody here on Rasslin. He's the absolute man, probably one of the best guests we've ever had, just a genuine good dude, which is probably why he's a great babyface. He can make it work wherever he is in any era. He understands. Obviously, his dad, his brother, he can do it all. And when it comes to being able to get the crowd behind you and the crowd to really invest in the story you're telling, I don't think anyone does it better than Cody Rhodes right now. Those are your two answers in terms of babyfaces in every era. So CJB, we're going to the next one. CJB at dat_spin_dad on Twitter says, who's the current best heel in the business? We just mentioned him. It's CM Punk. I know we want to say MJF, and typically I would have said MJF. MJF is the best talker in the business right now. He can get the most heat when he wants, but ultimately, CM Punk is the only one right now that has real, like, I hate you type heat, where I actually think it's a good thing, but I think he's the biggest heel in the business right now. If he comes back, even if it's in Chicago, I don't know. Does he get fully cheered? I would think the Chicago crowd will, but anywhere else, I don't see how that AEW crowd takes his side over the Elite. I just think that's just the way that they view things. They're an Elite crowd. That's where their fan base was essentially birthed, is with the Elite, right? And Cody. Like, that's where AEW came from. So it's like you got the outsider WWE guy going against the homegrown kids. Plus, they had like a real issue, like a real problem, and Dirt Sheet's going to say what they want, and people are going to draw their own conclusions on CM Punk, but he's the biggest heel in the business right now, and he hasn't even stepped foot in the ring. He's going to be debuting at Collision. Andrew Parker, at ARParker0708 on Twitter, asks, what do you think is causing the storytelling issues at AEW at the moment? So if you think there are storytelling issues in AEW, because some people may just love the product, so I'm not saying there are storytelling issues, but if I had to point at anything, I would just say that the roster is so crowded. I mean, there's just so many people there to get into programming each week. If I had to say anything, I'd say just stick to less storylines and more and just concentrate more on the big stars that we have and have the show revolve around them. It's tough, though. You know, there's a big roster. There's social media now. You know, you have to hit the fan bases in different ways. It's tough. Like, you know, it takes WWE has the bloodline, but outside of that, you know, it's tough. It's not easy to have great storylines. The attention spans are not the same as they used to be. But if I was AEW, I would just concentrate on the big stars, and I would have less matches on these pay-per-views. Like, we just had a pay-per-view Double or Nothing with about 9 matches, I think. What if that was 6 matches and they were just the best storylines on the card? I think it would have done a better job. So that's what I would say. Just really bring in the roster and just concentrate on the big stars. You don't have to give everyone a spot every single week. But then again, I'm a dumb mark, and I'm saying that as if I understand anything in the business, which I don't. So that's just my opinion, Andrew. I could be dead wrong. Probably am. Tyler at GSW Tyler on Twitter says, who dethrones Roman Reigns? Him stepping away and never actually losing is an option. So I absolutely do not think that he would ever just step away. That's not the way the business goes. And certainly someone like Roman, I don't see him ever agreeing to that, right? Like, he's going to want to pass it off. And it's got to be Cody Rhodes. To me, if it's not Cody, it just doesn't make sense. Cody Rhodes is the guy. The story was started. The story must end somehow. Anything else is just completely just botching this entire thing. That's my opinion. I know Brandon shares the same thing. I wanted him to win at 39. I thought we had been absolutely fine. But now I'm seeing everything going down with the bloodline. I'm like, you know what? Maybe they made the right call. They probably did make the right call. But now you got to get Cody that belt, and it has to be done at WrestleMania. So they got to stretch him out to 40. If it happens at SummerSlam, I'm going to be disappointed. That's just me. I don't want him to go against Rollins for the belt. If he did, I'd want him to take the belt from Rollins. And for me, the perfect solve to this, and it'll never happen, but I would have Cody beat Rollins somehow down the road, win that title, and then challenge Roman for another undisputed title at WrestleMania. I'd bring the titles back again, and I'd keep that gold belt and throw out the other one. That's what I would do, and that's how I'd finish the story and dethrone Roman Reigns. Let's see. We got anything else here on this list? Tyler also asked another question about the tag team titles, and do you think they're going to split them? Yeah, I think they're going to split them eventually. I hate it. I hate the brand split. I would never split any titles. That's just how I am. I think that having one title of one type is the way to go. It's always going to be the way to go. It makes for a better product. That's why we all love Roman's reign. No pun intended, but that's why we all love it. It's because he was the only guy, and it made it that much bigger and that much better. All right, thanks, guys, for sending in your questions. Remember, anytime I hit up that Ask Rasslin, that hashtag Ask Rasslin, you got a chance of being on this show. If you get a good question, you're going to be on. Listen, if you send me a question, there's chances are you're going to be on. You send me a voicemail, there's like a 90% chance of you making it on. You send me a video voicemail, and it's not really creepy, you got like a 99% chance of getting on. So send that in, because I want to be doing this weekly. I want to make you guys the star, not me. That's my promise to you guys. I want you to follow us everywhere. Follow us on YouTube. We're on TikTok. We're on Twitter, Instagram. Follow Rasslin everywhere. Subscribe to Rasslin. We're almost at 50,000 subscribers. We're at 48.6, I think, right now. We're right there, man. And I promise, I said, yo, if you guys hit 50,000 subscribers, I'll jump off something and recreate Hell in a Cell. That's what I'll do if we hit 50,000 subscribers. So remember, like, review, share, subscribe to Rasslin, and we'll see you again. That's Rasslin.
R-A-S-S-L-I-N, that's wrestling. R-A-S-S-L-I-N, that's wrestling. R-A-S-S-L-I-N, that's wrestling.